If you've got a job, don't give up your job, don't give up your salary, don't give up your income. How can you do something that's low risk? It doesn't involve raising a lot of money or getting a large bit of capital for your first company. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the How to CEO Show. I'm your host, Murray Newlands, along with Isa.
Hi everyone, I'm Isa Ganjongko and I'm from the Philippines, and I am so interested. I'm so excited to be here to learn how to be my own CEO along with everyone else out there. Welcome to the show.
In this show, we're going to be looking at everything you need to know to be the best CEO you can be to build an amazing company. Being a CEO is hard and it can be lonely, but you can overcome those challenges and build an amazing business. And we're going to look through everything you need to know and give you the help, the advice, and the expertise to become the best you, to build the best business, and have the best life.
Having said that, I am so excited to be here because Murray is a very seasoned businessman. I kind of want to ask you a bit of questions, Murray, if you don't mind. Obviously, this is our first show and I want to learn as much as I can about you.
Let's do it.
Perfect. All right. How many years have you been in the business?
So I'm 46 now. I started my first business really when I was 23. So 23 years and doing different businesses.
What was your first business?
I was originally a lawyer. Then I didn't really know what to do after that, but I knew I didn't want to do that. Why didn't I not want to do that? Well, I realized that as a lawyer, most of my customers, the people coming to see me, were actually not in a great point in life. They had been arrested, they were getting divorced. It was not a happy moment in life. And I realized I didn't want to spend the rest of my life surrounded by unhappy people. So I looked for different jobs. And one of the recruitment agencies that I applied through actually hired me to work for them. And I thought that was a great opportunity to see into different careers. So I worked for them for about 6 months. But while I was doing that, and this is obviously a long time ago, I helped rebuild their website. And at the time, actually, I was dating a girl who was a graphic designer. And she was doing some great work for big companies. And she had a great portfolio and she did a little bit of freelance work. And so I took some days off work, just holiday days. And I actually walked around industrial parks with a portfolio case and I sold graphic design. And that's how really I started my first company, taking portfolio case, walking around industrial parks and selling brochure design. And that really taught me a lot of things. If you want to start a business, how are you going to start a business? Here are my tips from starting that first business. What's a low risk way to start? If you've got a job, don't give up your job, don't give up your salary, don't give up your income. How can you do something that's low risk? It doesn't involve raising a lot of money or getting a large bit of capital for your first company. A service business is a great business to start because really it's your time. How can you find a way to sell your time or someone else's time who can do great work, can maybe has a different value that they can bring, but they don't have enough customers. So either sell your time or sell someone else's time. And how do you find a way to sell that relatively easily? In that case, they had examples of flyers produced that they'd made, brochures they'd done, work that they'd done, literally put it in a portfolio case and went and knocked on doors. Now that's super old fashioned. That is, I mean, at that time there wasn't fast internet. Like, I remember we started the business and we were sort of 6 months in, and that's when broadband came along. Before that, it was dial-up modems. So
I lived through those times. I can remember.
This is when fax machines are still big, and people watching this don't even know what a fax machine is, thankfully. So yeah, start small and start easy and think of some really easy things that you can do. The first business that you run, you're going to learn so many lessons from. In some ways, you want to have a practice business. You may not think, hey, this is the business that you want to run forever, but start something. It doesn't matter what it is, and try and practice selling it, practice getting clients. And you will just learn so much by just trying it. So if you're thinking about starting a business but not sure what to do, I would say find something, try it, practice selling it, work out what to do, find something that's easy, that's probably selling time. As you develop your business, you might see that selling time is not like, there's only so much of your time. And maybe there's a maximum that you can get for your time. So it doesn't scale very well, but it's a great business to start and an easy way to start. And if you're young, starting out, that's just a great way to not necessarily make a huge amount of money, but it's a great way, an easy way to start.
That's really good. Wow. I have another question. You did mention that you started out as a lawyer, but you did not pursue that. What was the transition like? Was it difficult considering that your background was in law and then now you were dipping your feet into the world of business?
Oh, so moving away from being a lawyer, having just qualified as a lawyer and moving away from being a lawyer was super hard. And hard for a lot of reasons that I'm sure as I mentioned them, you'll be like, oh, well, firstly, I spent 6 years and a lot of money training to be a lawyer. And my parents were really proud that I became a lawyer. And so to give that up and to do something else was really hard. But then to spend so much time and money pursuing that and not doing it is a really hard, like, psychological thing to do. And I'd say that all kinds of barriers around your family and expectations and friends and family's expectations that come into play that make it really hard to switch from something like that when you're just starting off. But at the same time, if you realize that, hey, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life, then sometimes you have to make those decisions. And I don't regret making that choice.
You and me are on the same boat there, I would say, because I actually finished nursing. I'm a registered nurse, but I've never practiced. And I was the first in 3 generations to finish college. So there's really high expectations. And as a Filipino, I think a lot of people who are watching who are Filipino can relate to the expectations of being a nurse and going to the States again and working. But I did that. I was the first one to graduate college and I never worked as a nurse. And I pursued a lot of other things but nursing. So I think a lot of people are alike. I think that that's something that's really interesting. But I think you and me also, we sort of know that there have been a lot of like bumps along the road, especially like getting into business. And that's not something that we were trained for.
Right.
Would you agree? What was that like for you?
A lot of hard lessons of different things. Like just thinking about setting up your first company. You try really hard to get your first client. You get your first client. They agree you're going to do this work for them. So as you start the project, maybe expectations aren't the same. Even if you're super clear what you're going to deliver, maybe their expectations aren't really the same because probably your first clients are not big companies. It's not someone who professionally buys this service. It might be a small business or a family friend. Well, they don't professionally buy this service or this product. And so they don't necessarily know what the outcome they're going to get is. And so that can be really hard. Once you do the business, are they happy with it? Will they agree that the project is finished? Because sometimes they're like, hey, can you do this extra, this extra, this extra? And you're like, I finished this one bit of project. You need to pay me for this before I do more. And then the other thing is, sadly, even once you do the business, the work and you do a great job, some people just don't pay.
That's true.
So that's really tough. And the other thing is, when we actually got going, we started to do some work for a big company. And at one point, sort of a year or so in, we had done some work for a big company. We knew they were going to pay us. So we knew they were going to pay us the money. But we bought some materials, tens of thousands of dollars of materials.
I'm scared to know the ending.
And we had a small team of people working for us. But at one point, they owed us significant amounts of money. But because they were a big company, big companies pay slowly. So they paid us on 180 days.
Wow.
So we had to like borrow money and like, we knew we were going to make a lot of money, but getting like the last paycheck before they paid us, we would have borrowing money to pay the paycheck to get to the stage where we would get the big check.
Yeah.
So that was really tough. And actually, statistically, like one of the key reasons that small businesses fail is not because they don't make money, it's because they run out of cash, because they literally can't afford to wait for other people to pay them.
That's true.
And also, like that really affects people as they like a lot of young entrepreneurs particularly have a challenge with this because they will take on those big projects and then they just run out of cash. They run out of time.
Cash flow, yeah.
To succeed. So that's something I think you really need to think about when you're just starting out. And like those big contracts, those big profitable contracts can kill a small business really easily.
For more episodes on how you can become your own CEO, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification button. For easy listening on the go, catch the Mary Newlands Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other streaming platforms. We'll catch you on the next episode.